If you're thinking consistency sounds great, but between clients, programs, and running my practice, and let's not forget about your family, your kids, your household, I can barely keep up with the content. Well, this episode is for you, friend. Hey there, welcome back to the Content Systems for Growth podcast. I'm Michelle Dewey, and I help health and wellness coaches turn their healing wisdom into consistent, strategic content that actually reaches the people who need it. So you're not behind and you're not bad at creating content. If that's what you're thinking, you're simply missing a few simple habits that work with the real rhythm of your wellness practice. Here's what I see again and again with working with health and wellness coaches, whether it's nutrition, you help with food struggles, whatever it is. The ones who make the biggest impact aren't the ones that are creating the most content. They're the ones with systems that allow their healing message to show up consistently without draining their energy. So today I'm sharing 3 habits that will help you follow through on your content, even when your calendar feels packed and your energy is focused on serving your clients. So let's dive in, friends. Habit 1, start with your healing focus. There's something I've noticed behind the scenes. The biggest content blocks isn't time, it's that actual decision fatigue. You sit down to create content and suddenly you're asking, what should I even talk about? Gut health today, stress management, that client breakthrough that came yesterday that I had on a call. And just like that, your brain actually stalls. Here's the first habit. I want you to start each content system by choosing your healing focus that you're going to talk about. Before you open your app or you start writing, pause and ask yourself, what's the one thing my ideal client needs to understand about their health this week? So here's the question. Before you open any apps or start writing, pause and ask yourself, what's the one thing my ideal client needs to understand about their health this week? Maybe it's the connection between stress and digestion. Maybe it's explaining why their energy crashes every single afternoon. Maybe it's sharing how one small shift in their morning routine could change everything for them. When you begin with your healing wisdom instead of a blank page, everything flows easy. You're not just focusing on content, you're extending your expertise. And if it starts to feel heavy, let's support bridge the gap. Ask your VA to prep the doc. Use AI to create a rough outline. That way, you're editing your brilliance instead of wrestling with a blank page. Habit number 2, build systems that support your coaching practice. Here's the truth, a habit can only stick if there's a system behind it. But not just any system. It has to fit your actual work as a coach. Don't copy what works for a marketing guru or business coach. Build something that actually supports your unique rhythm of your practice. For some, that means organizing content by the body system that specializes in digestion, hormones, immunity, whatever it is. For others, it's planning around that program launch or seasonal wellness themes that you may hit on. For many, it's as simple as just keeping a running list of client questions that become their next post or podcast episode. Here's the shift. Map how content naturally flows through your practice. When do you get your best ideas? Pay attention to that. Is it after a client session, during your morning routine, after your meditation, while you're meal prepping, when you're out on your walk? You want to build that system around those moments instead of fighting against it, because that's when your creative genius is coming through. For example, in my Trello podcast workflow board, I capture every step from the idea library to the batching to the publishing. That way, I don't burn energy remembering the system actually holds all the details so I can just stay in the flow. If a post production is where you get stuck, that's where my repurposing packages come in, friend. You record, I transform it into 5 additional aligned pieces of content that keep your wisdom working for you long after you hit that stop recording button. Habit number 3 that may work is stack your content into your client work. One of the most powerful shifts wellness coaches make is realizing you're already creating content every single day. Did you even realize that? Think about it. You're teaching in every single client session. You're answering the same questions, explaining the same principles. Do you have weekly group coaching that you have? That stuff can be turned in to episodes or content outside of it easily. All you have to do is break it up into little tiny pieces and you have your content there. So instead of treating your content as extra work, just start stacking it into what you're already doing. Here's what it looks like. After a client session, do a voice memo of the key teaching points in that post. When 3 clients ask the same question, that becomes your next newsletter, or maybe it becomes your next lead magnet. After a group call, jot down the main insights for a podcast episode, or just take that and put it on your podcast episode. And these aren't new tasks, they're just ways of extending your healing wisdom. Your message shouldn't lock you into one-on-one conversations. It deserves to ripple out and reach the people who haven't found you yet. So here's what I know. Your healing wisdom is too important to get buried in decision fatigue or lost in a never-ending to-do list. Consistency doesn't come from hustling harder. It comes from building simple, aligned systems that capture the wisdom you're already sharing and helps reach beyond your current clients. Your voice matters in the wellness space. Your message matters, and the people who need your help can't find you if your wisdom only lives inside private sessions, friends. Do you want help with this? If you're that DIY coach, grab my Trello content system. It's designed specifically for wellness coaches who want to organize their content around their healing experience. I'll go ahead and put the link down below in the show notes. And for that coach who wants to focus on clients and not content, my done for you content repurposing service is just for you. I can take that podcast episode, maybe your client insights, teachings, and turn that into strategic posts that you can post across multiple platforms, all in one voice, all highlighting your healing approach, giving you that omnipresence. You focus on transforming lives, and I'll make sure your message reaches the right people who needs it the most. Thank you for spending time with me today. Remember, your healing wisdom is meant to be shared. Let's make sure it reaches the right people. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you, and I hope you make it a wonderful week.
Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.